Hello, you're listening to Talkin' Music with Joshua Kirk. On this show, I speak with musicians about albums they've made, their careers, shows they've played, and a range of other topics. My guest is from a psych rock and power pop duo out of Nashville who have been active since 2012, and that is Oberon Rose. Their latest album, The Sun Stood Still, was released on August 8th, 2025, and it is their fifth studio album at the time of recording. In this interview, I spoke with Tommy Oberon about writing and recording the new album, their sources of inspiration, being a fully independent band, and their musical evolution. So without further ado, I hope you all enjoy my interview with Oberon Rose, my guest on Talkin' Music with Joshua Kirk. Yeah, well, thank you for being on Talkin' Music.
Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah. Your new album, The Sun Stood Still, has been out for over a month, a little over a month so
Right.
far. How does it feel to have this record out in the world for people to hear?
I love it. I love putting out new music and I love writing songs and what good does it do if it's just for me to hear, right? I mean, it's great to be able to put it out and other people hear it. That's what it's all about, right?
Oh yeah. Upon its first week of release, the record had already made it onto the North American College and Community Radio Most Added chart and later became a top 5 climber on that chart. So, can you tell me about the role that college radio has played in giving your music more traction?
College radio has been pretty supportive of our music over the years, over the past few releases that we've done. So we're very grateful for the support we get from those stations, and also some AAA stations are included on that as well. It's just great. It's great to know that people are basically choosing our music to add to their playlist. That's cool.
Oberon Rose has been active for about 15 years and so far have 5 studio albums under their belt. So I'm curious, like when you and Rebecca met and how music brought you two together.
We met before we started the project, and we just had some mutual friends that we ended up meeting at a party, and we lived in New York City for a while, and I was doing music and she was doing theater in New York, and eventually we just kind of got the idea of writing songs together, because she had an interest in writing lyrics, and at that time, um, I had a few songs, like I'd have some songs I'm working on, and she would contribute sometimes to just write. She would just every so often write maybe like a verse, or she would have something that she wrote that I was inspired by, that I just took up and put music to or something. So it kind of happened slowly, but then eventually we kind of hit upon it, like, why don't we just try that, try a songwriting partnership kind of thing, because music was always my strongest thing, and lyrics were always something I kind of struggled with a little bit. So I was more than happy to have someone to collaborate with that. So and she's a natural at it, so it just made sense to start working together.
Oh yeah, that's really good to hear. And yeah, it definitely is fascinating when there's a band that has kind of in a way like two main people like at the forefront, where like one of them is like the songwriter, and then the other one, yeah, focuses on like arrangements and coming up with uh cool riffs and basic and then in some cases like being uh like in you guys case, you're like you write the music and you like actually like sing the lyrics too, uh and yeah, it's definitely very cool. There are videos on Oberon Rose's YouTube channel of you doing acoustic covers of songs by Bob Dylan and Elton John from your house. Uh, any chance they were among the artists that inspired the material on the new album?
Absolutely. Bob Dylan, first of all, is always a um, a top influence for our songwriting in general. I get a lot of inspiration from Bob, and so does Rebecca. We are both big fans of Bob, especially the mid 60s era when he first went electric.
Yeah.
And so Bob has a special place in our hearts. And we love it. We love his music to death. And Elton John as well. Elton John, I mean, really, those two are just giants as songwriters. I mean, and any songwriter, it's going to be influenced by those two, especially. Elton John is just, incredible. He had that incredible period from the early 70s to, the mid to late 70s where he just put out one great album after another. And so, yeah, and the partnership between Elton and his lyricist Bernie Taupin are kind of an inspiration for us as well because they kind of worked a little bit in the same way. Not totally, but they're the same kind of thing where Elton wrote the melodies and the music and all that, but Bernie would present him with lyrics and stuff. And that's what I like to do when I do covers. I like to pay tribute to the artist that inspired me. That's usually my point in doing a cover song rather than just picking a song randomly. You know what I mean? It has to mean something to me.
Oh yeah, I definitely get that. Cause yeah, listening to the album, I do hear like Elton's influence on songs like yeah, like the opening song Turning On, and also Goodbye to Yesterday, and they kind of in a way emulate kind of the different sides of Elton John, where like one song is like very reflective and has a slow progression to it, and then the other song is definitely more kind of uh upbeat and has yeah, more of a melodic approach. And then and also with the way uh you use like keyboards and instruments like that, and like and for Dylan, I mean, I kind of get some vibes of him on with lyrics on songs like the title track, "The Sun Stood Still," and also the last song, "Sticks and Stones," definitely has that feel of like when he went electric with the Highway 61 Revisited. Mm, all your recordings have been done in your home studio and released independently through your own imprint, Thou Art Records. What does being a fully independent band mean for you and your music?
It's a lot of work. That's what it's doing everything ourselves. I mean, and especially on this album, this is the first album that I mixed myself. I would usually go to someone else to mix the record after I recorded it. But this one, I felt that I had enough control over the way it was recorded that I felt I just could tell from my rough mixes that I was just really close to having the finished product that I felt like if I just worked a little bit harder, I can finish it off myself, um, which was very gratifying to me. It was, um, I was happy to be able to do that this time. I mean, I've always wanted to be able to do that, um, but I never really felt confident enough to kind of put that finishing touch on it. Um, but this time, the way it was recorded and the performances on it, I felt like I was so close. I can make it happen. So I did mix it this time, and I'm happy with the results. I did when I sent it off to be mastered. I asked my mastering engineer, just let me know, is this good enough to be mastered? You know what I mean? Like, am I here? Um, and he got back and said, it sounds great. Let's do it. So once I got the okay from him, I knew it was done.
Yeah, having that independence really does give you a lot of freedom to really like focusing on fleshing out your craft and really like doing things in a very honest and authentic way. And like yeah, because listening to this album and then hearing about like you mixing it yourself, like it is clear that having that freedom really allows you to be uh meticulous with how you put a song together because finer details are important with recordings, and I think also hearing the album on vinyl definitely helped sort of really kind of bring that to light. Like all your records, this new one, The Sun Stood Still, was recorded in your home studio, and you two were joined by Quentin Cafall on drums. So how did you guys find Quentin and ultimately have him play on the record?
We met Quentin when we moved here to Nashville. We were looking for a drummer to work with, and we ended up meeting at um, at a cafe and just hung out and talked for a little while. Um, and we hit it off. And we didn't know at that point that we were going to do some, recording or anything together. But at that time, we were just looking for someone to do some shows with us. Um, and he did that. He did a few shows with us. And when it came time to record the record, he was more than happy to come in and do drums for us. So, and he did a great job. I think his drumming on it, in some ways, made it so uh, it felt easier for me to mix. Because I mean, I'm not disparaging any of the prior drummers that played on our records because they were all great. Um, but I think because we were able to really hone in on the drum sound and the sound of the drums and the how it was going to fit into the mix at a very early stage, it kind of made the rest of the process easier. And the choices he made were so good that as I was building each song, um, his choices just sounded better and better. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
things he put in just, that I maybe didn't notice, or even some things that I sort of question, like, do I want to keep that or do I want to, edit that or what? It's like I ended up just like, oh man, that's it. That's perfect, So it was just it's quite an experience working with them in that way, because it ended up being better than I even expected. So that's always a good thing, right? I mean, it's um, when you work with people and it comes out better than you expect, I mean, you can't ask for anything more than that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I totally get that. And clearly Quentin is like a very versatile drummer because there's some songs where the drums are like really upfront in the arrangement, but then there's other songs like the title track, yeah, like drums are kind of more like subtle on that track. It's like yeah, the kick drum and shaker for most of it, and then like near the end there's like a pretty like clear drum fill that's like right before that uh instrumental part at the end and yeah, definitely yeah, a big part of why the album sounds sounds really good. Upon listening to your discography, this record sounds like your most expansive and fully realized work to date. So what were your main intentions making this record, and what music were you listening to at the time?
Every record sort of, the way I look at it, sort of builds upon the next one. So um, I really wanted to make something that sounded really sort of thematically, you know, joined together. You know, it's not a concept album in any way, but I wanted it to have a flow that was like, that really just felt like one sort of complete statement, you know. I knew from the beginning I wanted to kind of narrow it down to really 8 songs. I mean, there's that one short instrumental, but that was kind of tagged on last minute. And that instrumental really is the reason I put that in there is because that is the germ of the song that follows it. Goodbye to Yesterday. I wrote it, that little instrumental and that chord sequence. I decided to make into a song, and that became Goodbye to Yesterday. So it kind of started as that instrumental and grew into Goodbye to Yesterday. So I thought it would be cool to include that. Um, and But there's really 8 songs on the record, and I knew I wanted to do that. Just kind of like, a lot of classic records are just that length. You know what I mean? It's just 8 songs, and it's just 4 songs each side or whatever. And it's just I knew I wanted to have that kind of feel to it. So I just really worked on just sonically making it very cohesive. And this goes for all our records. I like to have a variety in song style, sort of. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
dynamics and different kind of songs. Like some songs are a little more folky, and some songs are a little more riffy. You know what I mean? There might be a ballad or two. Some songs may be a little more poppy, some may be a little more glam rock. So it's just I always like to have a variety. Because I'm a huge Beatle fan, and one of my favorite all time records is the White Album, and that is like huge variety of music on that record. So I always like that, and I don't like to repeat songs, although, there are some bands that had very successful careers of pretty much writing the same song over and over. That's not what I like to do. So I wanted to kind of keep that, but keep it sonically unified.
From listening to your work, uh I mean, it's got your usual palette of like bluesy psychedelia, power pop, and classic rock. But yeah, also kind of a like it's kind of like uh it's like it feels like kind of like singer-songwriter kind of at points. There's also I catch a little bit of like old school prog rock and yeah, and I even uh I even caught like a little like touch of new wave on the first single Back to You with the melody and also like that like the way you put on like that synth riff alongside the guitar. But yeah, I really like when albums feel like cohesive and are like intended to be this full body of work. And I recently mentioned this album in a brief thoughts roundup for August 2025, and I wrote, "It's been a bit since classic power pop sounded this fresh." Oh, like where do you think this record ranks in your output so far?
I think I kind of rank it high. I think it's our best record at this point, because I do think it's the most fully realized in the sense of um, that I really had a vision for it to start with. I feel like I did get to where I wanted to get to from where when I started it and where it ended up. So it ended up sounding like how I envisioned it. So um, I rank it pretty high. I'm very happy with it. And I mean, you usually like your newest thing the best, but
Yeah,
no, I think there's something different about it from the rest of our output. I don't know. It's funny you mentioned the new wave sound, um, because that was kind of a thing, really up until this record. I mean, we always had a little bit of synth stuff appearing here and there, but not in the way that it was used on Back to You.
oh yeah, that's definitely really cool to get that insight. Yeah, I am curious about one thing. Like I'm curious how the opening sound on Sticks and Stones before like the full instrumentation comes in. Like how is that created?
To be quite honest, that is I use a Mellotron plugin
Oh yeah,
for a lot of the sounds, and on the Mellotron, they have these really dirty sounding uh, samples that they used to use back in the day.
yeah,
But they have a lot of tape distortion on them because the Mellotron it's really sort of the first sampler that they had. It was just like kind of like an organ, but it played, each key played back a tape, a sampled sound on an actual tape. Um, and so they had some loops, like a little drum loop, and some other just really whacked out sounds. If you're familiar with the White Album, you know the song Bungalow Bill.
yeah,
And there's that little acoustic guitar intro that sounds like classical
yeah.
guitar.
Oh yeah,
That's a sample off of the Mellotron.
oh
They just,
yeah,
nobody played it. They just pressed down a key and it played back that. I have that sample. Like I could put that on a record. So it's kind of the same thing. That little drum thing was a sample that was on the Mellotron, and then that other sound that comes in over it is just some other whacked out backwards sound that's on another preset on the Mellotron that kind of tweaked a little bit and created this sort of atmospheric opening just so it had like a little bit of just something to tease the ears a little bit before the song kicks in, you know.
oh yeah. And I think yeah, it makes sense. It would be like on the very last uh song, like this is the finale to the album. That like what are you currently working on right now? You writing for the next album, touring, collaborating with anybody?
We are starting to, I'm working on a few ideas for some new songs for another album. Um, we haven't actually collaborated on it. I'm still, they're really sort of still in the beginning stages of ideas because usually how it works is I write some music and get a melody idea, and sometimes I'll have a line that'll come to me, um, and I'll just put it down and then hand it off to Rebecca. And she'll write the lyrics to it. It hasn't gotten to that stage yet where I hand it off to her, but I have a couple of songs that are still swimming around in my head, and I'm still sort of tweaking the ideas to like I feel they're ready to present to her. Um, and then we're working on another project where we're going to be doing some live songs in a studio, um, with Quentin on drums and a bass player, um, and the four of us. We're gonna Rebecca will be on keys and backing vocals, and just gonna go into a studio and bang out a couple of songs live and film it and make a couple of videos out of it. But it's gonna be us playing live. So that's
Oh
kind
yeah,
of what we're working on right now.
oh yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, would you mind letting our listeners know where we can find you on social media?
Absolutely. So our main website is thowartrecords.com, and you can kind of link out to everything from there. But we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, um, we're on Bandcamp. If you're a Bandcamp user, please follow us over there. That's sort of a new platform. We just like a month or maybe about 3 months ago, we just signed up on there. So we're still kind of fresh on there. What else? And YouTube. We have, we focus a bit on YouTube. We either we have a couple of videos that we've done, but this time we thought instead of doing a like a music video, kind of lip sync video, we decided to do this live performance videos that will cut up into individual songs, uh, instead of doing a standard music video. So those will be coming. But yeah, YouTube is a place to go to see a bunch of stuff because I also make little, I guess you call them visualizers or audio only videos where I make a graphic and you know I make a graphic for the song specifically for that song, and so you can listen to it that way on YouTube. Um, so yeah, I'd say probably Instagram and YouTube are the two best social media, and Bandcamp is what we're you know is new for us right now. So
Well, Tommy, it's been a real pleasure having you on Talking Music to discuss your
thanks for
thoughts
having
on
me.
music and yeah, things you've done.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, thank you for talking to me. See you later. Bye. If you want to learn more about Oberon Rose and check out their records, just check out the link to the Thou Art Records website below in the description. Also be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a nice comment. If you have any suggestions for how I can make future improvements for the show, I'd be glad to hear them. You can also find me on my website, jkmusicreviews.com, along with my Instagram link down below. Talkin' Music is edited by Louisa Phillips. Thank you to Tommy Oberon of Oberon Rose for participating, and to you for listening. Have a good day, everyone.